Biden plans to nominate Tucson's police chief to lead U.S. Customs and Border Protection. We'll explore his background and qualifications.
Plus, details on ASU's new mass vaccination site in Tempe.
And later this half hour on Break It Down, an effort to increase Black women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Breonna Alexander.
And I'm Nick Shesky. Thank you for joining us.
According to the White House, President Joe Biden is expected to nominate Tucson Police Chief Chris Magnus as the Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Magnus was a critic of the Trump-era immigration policies and opposed efforts to make Tucson a sanctuary city. Cronkite News reporter Tina Giuliano has more on his background and qualifications. Tina?
Tucson Police Chief Chris Magnus became the leader of the Tucson Police Department in 2016 after serving in California. If selected, not only will he oversee a large department of officials and agents, but he'll be contending with the record increase of migrants at the border.
Chief Chris Magnus started off his public service career in his hometown of Lansing, Michigan. There he worked as a police dispatcher and a paramedic. After graduating from the police academy, he became a deputy sheriff in his hometown and was promoted to captain by 1989. Magnus moved around to Fargo, North Dakota in the early 2000s to Richmond, California, where he became the chief of police in 2006.
If confirmed as the Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, Magnus will oversee a law enforcement agency with over 61,000 employees. He will also work under Alejandro Mayorkas, the first immigrant to serve as the Secretary of Homeland Security. In the broadcast center, Tina Giuliano, Cronkite News.
President Joe Biden met with lawmakers to discuss his infrastructure plans today. The White House says the president sat down with a bipartisan group from both the House and the Senate. Biden's $2 trillion proposal for investing in infrastructure is on the agenda. The group includes 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats, but no one in a leadership position. According to the White House, the chosen lawmakers have a history with dealing with subjects like the electrical grid, water infrastructure, and broadband access.
Meanwhile, President Biden's 60-day review period of border wall contracts ended in late March. And without any word from the administration, officials are confused as to why construction of the wall hasn't ended. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Vlahovic talked to advocates to get their take on the situation.
It was one of the cornerstones of his campaign. And in Arizona, the halting of border wall construction was a big deal in January when Biden announced it. But now, almost 2 months later, immigration advocates are confused at why construction continues.
This is what construction at the border wall looks and sounds like. But months after the Biden administration announced that construction would end, pillars continue to rise.
Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas also announced that some construction would continue under the new administration. And just today, Attorney General Mark Brnovich filed a lawsuit against the federal government for violating the National Environmental Policy Act by continuing construction. In the studio, Ryan Vlahovic, Cronkite News.
According to data from the Health Department, as of last Friday, roughly 34% of Arizonans have received at least 1 dose of the coronavirus vaccine. And while the Arizona Department of Health Services Director Dr. Kara Christ says there's a very small increase in COVID-19 numbers, she says it's not a cause for alarm. As for the United States, half of U.S. adults are expected to have at least 1 dose of the vaccine by the end of this week, marking a major milestone. Now, there have been mixed reactions to the vaccine in recent weeks, but the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services confirms fewer than 1 in 28,000 people have had adverse reactions, which is less than 0.004%.
From Phoenix to Tempe, ASU has officially opened an indoor vaccination facility inside Desert Financial Arena. The site was previously located outdoors at Phoenix Municipal Stadium, but has become hazardous for the technology and, more importantly, the volunteers because of rising temperatures. After introducing the new site this morning, Dr. Chris spoke about vaccination production and vaccines among school-age children. She also explained that the vaccine was mass-produced before it was approved. Though it was risky, it's allowed for swift distribution after approval. Vaccines have made their way through high-risk populations. Now folks are asking if it will be required for kids.
We would anticipate that a lot of parents would feel more comfortable taking their kids to their healthcare provider. We will continue to monitor. I don't see us requiring that as one of the school required immunizations with the kids. I mean, we've seen cases in children But really, what we want to do is to protect all of the adults around those kids as well. And so we continue to monitor and make recommendations based on the data that we get.
Right now, the site will remain open until June, but Chris says that they'll be monitoring the demand for vaccines and will adjust decisions accordingly.
Health officials are now saying that the UK variant of the coronavirus is the most dominant strain in the United States, adding to growing concerns there may be another surge. Unlike the strain from the novel coronavirus, this strain is affecting young people more. Dr. Raquel Walensky, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, says this variant has taken a hold across the country. However, Dr. Anthony Fauci says the vaccines are likely to work well on the UK variant.
It is covered really quite well by the mRNA vaccines and highly likely by J&J, but we just need more data on that.
Fauci also says instead of concentrating on herd immunity, we need to focus on getting as many people vaccinated as possible.
As vaccines roll out, one of the first things many people are doing is traveling. So Airbnb is taking their safety precautions to the next level. The company has suspended or removed 50 short-term rental listings in Arizona that violated its parties and event policies. In addition to the removals, Airbnb also announced its Summer of Responsible Travel Plan, an 8-point plan to help communities stay safe. The plan includes new rules to ban parties that may disturb neighbors, implementing restrictions during the 4th of July weekend, and facilitating discounts for noise detection devices.
Taking a look outside now from our studios in downtown Phoenix, there are clear and sunny skies, but the valley will see a slight dip in temperatures starting midweek. Tina Giuliano is joining us once again with more on that.
It is going to be a beautiful week this week. We are seeing lower temperatures than we saw last week, so we are out of the 90s there for a little bit. But as you can see here, we're going to see some clouds kind of go through a little bit of precipitation up there by Page and up there on the border. But we'll be seeing those clouds here Thursday and Friday, super cloudy. So we got to enjoy this before it's literally blazing hot for the rest of the summer. Looking to tomorrow's low temperatures, 62 in Phoenix, 34 in the Grand Canyon, 36 in Flagstaff, 57 in Tucson down here. So we are going to have some cooler temperatures. It'll be really nice instead of those 90s, right? So by 10 p.m. here in the valley, we will be at 79 degrees, clear skies. So we might be able to break out our jackets again just for a couple more days, maybe. By Thursday and Friday, we will be seeing 84 and 85 degrees with those clouds. But by Saturday and Sunday, we'll be at 88, sunny skies. And then we're starting our work week off 91 degrees. So we have a little bit of cooler weather to enjoy here for a little bit before we hit that 90 degrees. In the Weather Center, Tina Giuliano, Cronkite News.
I'm Kelsey Clacy. After the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Lightning on the lake. Today, we'll take you to the shores of one of Arizona's hidden gems and a look at the sport cruising onto the radar. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm Kelsey Clacy with your Cronkite Sports Report. It was an electric weekend for Suns fans. The solar-powered team provided the charge after defeating the league-leading Jazz in overtime. The team then fell to the third-place Clippers the next night. The Valley Boys rebounded against the Wizards, scoring 44 points in the third quarter. Head coach Monty Williams talked about his team's second-half adjustments.
So we just talked about, taking care of the paint, but picking up our energy and juice. I didn't think we played with, continuous energy and juice, and the ball just wasn't moving enough in the second half, especially in the third quarter. We scored 44 points.
The team also announced they'll be hosting watch parties at the arena during road games. The so-called road game rallies will allow fans into the lower bowl where they can watch the game on the Jumbotron. Tickets are available for the first two, now for $15 each. And another Valley team is back in the win column. The Diamondbacks are coming off a series victory against the Reds. Although they currently sit at 4-6, fourth place in the NL West, Eduardo Escobar has led the charge with a home run in each of the last 4 games. Opening day was not the experience many fans wanted it to be, though. For a stadium known for its culinary concoctions, the concessions were making people crazy. 19,000 fans returned to Chase Field for the first time since September of 2019, and fans in attendance reported long wait times for concessions. The team announced they will be offering free tickets to anyone who faced delays. In Buckeye, Hidden Lake is becoming a popular destination for boat racing enthusiasts. Cronkite News reporter Zachary Larson shows us how one sport is making it their new home.
Just south of downtown Buckeye, you'll find a peaceful and quiet lake hidden within the desert scenery, but not on race day.
The weather, the people, the openness, the high desert here is just beautiful. And yes, you can see the track's just phenomenal.
Hidden Lake is now home to the Arizona Drag Boat Association after being repurposed to house over 100 boat teams during a weekend event. Sisters Tara and Tanya Scribner know the amount of preparation each race takes.
There's a lot to it. Each boat kind of has a little bit more than the next, but you prepare, I don't know, a few weeks ahead of time, months maybe,
Although anyone can participate, safety is a priority with 10 different classes of boats, including some reaching up to 185 miles per hour.
You just get an adrenaline rush from it, just going down the track.
There's been some nasty incidents, but safety's come so far. We don't see those very often anymore.
Although the drivers are fierce competitors on the water, it's a family-like atmosphere here at Hidden Lake, where you'll see various games and activities like cornhole.
It's a great family thing. It's real competitive, but when the racetrack gets shut down, they're all friends again.
Not only is it about family, the Scribner sisters are also hoping to inspire other girls.
I like seeing little girls coming up to me and saying that they want to race now because they see that I do it and my sister does it.
With the pandemic wreaking havoc on the race schedule, Hidden Lake looks to be the premier track on the circuit for a long time. In Buckeye, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
That does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Brianna and Nick.
Finally tonight, an exciting new discovery. Volunteers and citizen scientists of the Arizona Museum of Natural History recently discovered a new species of dinosaur. Ornithops incantatus, meaning enchanted ornate face, lived around 79 million years ago. It's a large, duck-billed, plant-eating dinosaur.
Well, that's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.